Welcome to another episode of Clear the Air from S&P USA Ventilation Systems. I'm your host, Tanya Meyer, S&P USA's Training and Development Architect. On this episode, we're joined by some very special guests to discuss how S&P USA is going green and focusing on energy efficient ventilation. For many years, energy efficiency has been a hot topic in the ventilation industry. And now the spotlight is even brighter as technological advances have made products even more efficient. Before we dive deeper into this and how S&P USA is working to go green, I'd like to introduce my two very special guests. First is he's basically almost my co-anchor for Clear the Air podcast, S&P USA's commercial product manager, Josh Lynch. Welcome back, Josh.
Hey, Tanya, it's great to be back. I think I'm finally getting the hang of this. I can't believe it's already our third episode.
Isn't that crazy? It's amazing. We're doing great things here. Always great to have you, Josh. As our second guest, none other than the boss himself, S&P USA's president, Mr. Jeff Bredeson. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm excited to be here. You know, as the rookie joining you, veteran.
Don't worry, Josh will show you the ropes. It'll be fun. Okay, well, we're excited to have you, Jeff, even though you're a rookie. Now, once again, a little background on Jeff. He's had a very distinguished career as an executive working in the HVAC and water-associated industries. He's joined S&P USA's team as president at the start of 2020 and has since set goals and best practices that have grown and improved the company's outlook significantly. Jeff is the driving force behind our mission of enabling people and building to breathe better, cleaner air, which is why he's the perfect guest for our show today.
Well, thanks, Tanya. That mission is the reason we're all here today and why I'm looking forward to this discussion.
Since we're talking about energy efficient ventilation and S&P USA's focus on going green, we thought this was a perfect discussion for the month of April, since Earth Day is this month and everyone's eyes on how to be more efficient. Jeff, to begin, can you run through the reasons why S&P USA has placed this robust emphasis on efficiency?
Sure, Tanya. Solaire and Palau has always been at the forefront of efficient products. As a group, we believe in sustainability and respect for the environment to be a key part of all of our processes. And it's this philosophy that allows us to have a profound impact on the legacy we leave for our children and future generations. The demand for efficient products has increased, and historically, HVAC equipment has accounted for around 35% of the carbon emissions in a typical building. In our eyes, that number is unacceptable, and that's why we want to be at the forefront of creating products that don't have negative impacts on the environment. As a result of that philosophy, S&P established the EcoWatt standard to brand and designate our most efficient products. I bet Josh may have something further to add to that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So EcoWatt is our trademarked label that S&P established, and it's used on our most efficient products, which would be anything with EC motors, DC motors, or anything that promotes demand controlled ventilation. And as an example of that, a couple of years ago, we released our line of VFDs, which we called our EcoWatt drives, because they help customers control the ventilation rate of our fans based on the need from the environments or the application. And also our EcoWatt products allow you to easily meet energy efficient codes when necessary. Perfect. And also it allows for owners to have energy cost savings, extended time between service, and a versatility in applications.
That's awesome. Now, Josh, have you noticed this increase in demand from a product development side as well?
Yes, for sure. Like, I've been in the industry about 15 years or so now.
Yeah.
And it's always been growing, I would say, the need for more efficient products. But like in the last I would say 5 years, there's been a big acceleration. And I would say the demand is growing exponentially at this point. And therefore, we get constant requests for more efficient aerodynamics, more efficient motors, more efficient impellers. And these requests have been a driving force behind the growth of our EcoWatt product line. But also, I don't want to sell ourselves short and say that our development has been based on the requests we get, because we are also like constantly researching like the latest technologies and developments in the industry, and we try to stay ahead of the curve with developing like the most efficient products.
Oh, that's for sure. So how does that being efficient help S&P USA work towards our mission? Jeff, what do you think?
Well, from my perspective, energy efficiency does a lot for us. It creates a purpose for our employees. That's one example. It helps us satisfy market needs, another example, and it ensures performance for future generations.
Who do efficient products benefit then?
Well, I'd have to say they benefit all of us, right? I mean, our company benefits because we're creating products that we can be proud of, because we know they're going to have a positive impact on the environment. Our customers benefit because being efficient helps our reps and distributors market
That's
our products
true.
to their
Yeah.
customers.
You're right.
The biggest beneficiary, I think, is the end consumer, because they get the benefit of the savings in energy costs.
Oh, yeah.
And it also helps them meet their sustainability goals, right?
Right.
And finally, the planet benefits from lower energy consumption, reduced greenhouse gas emissions. So
Look at
to me, it's
that.
huge.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, look at us. We're really making a difference in that. Josh, do you have anything to add to that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say unless you've lived under a rock for like the last 20, 30 years.
And I have.
There's some people.
you know that it's important and responsible for all of us to cut back on energy consumption if possible. And I feel like it's our duty then to make products that are more efficient than their predecessors. And so I would say with every new product we work on, one of the very top considerations is efficiency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Now that we have a good understanding of why we have this strong focus on energy efficiency, Josh, can you drive into how are we making more efficient products from a product development point of view?
Oh, yes, of course. So we're releasing more products with EC and DC motors all the time. And we're also including adding higher horsepower options, because motor technology has been developing over the last few years, almost at an exponential rate as well. So motors are bigger motors are having more efficient options available. So we're really staying on track with those. And also we're constantly enhancing our already existing products to be like more efficient by redesigning impellers, venturis, and the airflow region of the fans. And finally, we research trends and we stay up to date on any new energy codes or regulations that come about to make sure we're at the forefront of those.
Well, that's kudos to us. Are there any products then in particular that you'd like to highlight because of that?
Oh, sure. We could be here all day if I mentioned them all. So
some of them.
Yes. So, I mean, which is, it's good for us that we've been focusing on that, but I'll mention a few of the most recent ones.
Okay.
So one is, our popular line of jet fans that we developed, the IFFT. We released at the beginning of this year an IFFTE, which is like an EcoWatt version of that fan, which has a 3-phase EC motor on it. And we offer that in all 3 sizes of our IFFT. And we're also about to release an IFFTE with single phase. It's going to be only on the size 50, which will be an EC motor version of that fan as well.
Oh,
and
okay.
Also, we just released, I would say a month ago, our SMXDK, which actually is like a second generation of our SMXD. And it is perhaps like one of the most efficient mixed flow fans on the market. And I really like to highlight that one as well, because we worked really closely with one of our S&P sister companies to develop that fan. So we really utilize our global brand to develop that product line and make it more efficient.
I think that's a great point, Josh, and it really highlights the power of the global group that we're part of, right? When we can collaborate with sister organizations and leverage the engineering and intelligence of those other teams and bring it to this market, I think it really highlights the benefit of being in a global group like we are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. And then finally, the last thing I was going to mention was that we just last week we released some higher horsepower options on our popular power roof ventilators, up blast and down blast. We released new ECMs up through 2 horsepower. So now we have 1.5 and 2 horsepower that we didn't have before. And then also we added some 1 horsepower options that are slower motors. So we were able to put those on bigger units. And basically the point was to get more CFM with more efficient motors on those units. So those just came out last week.
Wow, that's amazing. So they just came out last week. Now, with that being said, how do our customers know that the products they're purchasing are efficient?
Like the easiest way, like we mentioned, is to make sure you're getting the EcoWatt branded products. And you can easily find those at our website, ecowatt-usa.com, or you could also find them in our EcoWatt brochure, which is easily found on the S&P USA website.
Okay, all right. Well, then I want to ask you both what you see in the future for efficient products, and where do we see S&P USA in all of this? Let's start with you, Jeff.
Okay. I mean, the current administration is pressing hard on green solutions and sustainability. And we all know that. We see it in the news. We see it every day. My perspective on that is, if we can leave the world a better place by making products that use our energy more efficiently, then we should. If you take political bias out of it and just apply the golden rule, efficiency is a key performance indicator for all new product development and product expansion here at S&P USA. So it's really important to us. It's important to the younger people, younger workers in the world. They want to have a purpose with their career, and us being involved in developing energy efficient products and sustainability offers them that higher purpose in their careers as well. So I'll just mention those things.
I like that you mentioned golden rule at this point, because we're focusing on green. It should be the green rule. Just saying. What do you think, Josh?
Oh yeah. So as Jeff already mentioned, like I do believe it's our responsibility to produce like the more efficient products all the time. But I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention that not only is it our responsibility, it's going to become regulation relatively soon. And with that, like states are working on their own regulations. And like, for example, like California could have something in place in the next year to year and a half. And then also the Department of Energy has been working on a regulation for 10 plus years at this point. They actually kind of, I would say, took a pause for a little bit during the last administration, but it's really picked up lately in the last year or so. And we could actually see some finality with that regulation in the next year or two, and with it being made effective for our industry in 3 to 5 years. So basically, I'm saying it's not only a responsibility, but it's going to be required by building code regulations and building regulations here soon.
Wow, that is amazing. This has been a very informative, and I have to say, a fun discussion. So I want to make sure that, all you cool cats and kittens understand what's going on here and what's at stake. Green is the way to go. This is a great discussion on all of S&P USA's efficient products. Thank you both for helping me clear the air.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. It's always fun to be on the show.
Thanks, Tanya, and thanks to everyone listening around the world.
That is correct. And if you want more information about S&P USA's line, visit solerpalau-usa.com. I'm your host, Tanya Meyer, S&P USA's Training and Development Architect, and we appreciate you listening in. In case you missed it, the Clear the Air podcast is now available through RSS feed and on Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, and more. We encourage you to search S&P USA Clear the Air on any of these platforms and subscribe to our show to be notified when we release new episodes. Tune in next time.